Jai Gurudev, Jai Masters. People ask me, what about meditation? And I always say the same thing. You should meditate. But I'm not here to teach you meditation. What I've experienced, and I meditate, I used to meditate a lot more years and years ago, is at the time when you're not meditating is where your real spiritual growth takes place. You're going to have experiences, lots of very special experiences, very inspiring, and sometimes frustrating, because you have an experience and you want to have it again, and you feel you did something wrong, and next thing you know, you're getting all anxious about your meditations, about your spiritual experiences, which I don't highly advise, but it happens. But the time of every moment of every day of your life, that's where it's happening. There's a reason that you are the way you are. There are reasons why you say what you say. The reasons why you dress the way you dress. The reasons why you like what you like. The reason why you dislike what you dislike. The reason why you love one person and dislike another person. Those are what are keeping you from God. Not how many hours you can meditate and what experiences you've had. The fact that that is going on inside of you is extremely distracting. How do I know? Because you live it. You're in it. Every moment of your life, you're busy being you. How's that? You're busy being you. But if I'm a nice me, it doesn't matter. It's nicer to be a nice me than a not nice me, okay? But you're still busy being you. And when you're busy being you, you can't know God. You can know about God. You can talk like you know about God. You can act in a way, dress in a way, eat in a way that makes it look like you're close to God. But you will not know God. Why? The Bible says the Lord your God is a jealous God. What does that mean? He's screwed up? He needs to go to a shrink? No. What it means is, if you want to know God, you can't serve two masters. I'm quoting Christ and all this stuff. Christ said you can't serve two masters. What does that mean? It means you can't serve yourself and serve what is greater than yourself. If you're focused on yourself, then that's what you're focused on. Let's not get down to the detail or nitty-gritty of what part of yourself you're focused on, or the positive or the negative, or I like myself, or I don't like myself, all these personality traits and all the stuff that they screw around with, right? It's still yourself. You're busy with yourself. But while you're busy with yourself, you can't know God. Why? Because you are being distracted by yourself. The real reason is as follows. The consciousness, the awareness of being, is where God is. That is what consciousness is. That's what God is. God is consciousness. Universal consciousness. One consciousness. From that consciousness sprang the quantum field, sprang everything that exists, and is conscious of everything that exists. There's nothing but God. God alone is real. The whole universe, that which, when the scientists go down there and they find atoms, then they find the atoms are made of electron, neutron, and protons. Then they find the electron, neutron, and protons are made of quarks, leptons, and bosons, and subatomic particles that are really just waves of energy that pop up as if they have characteristics of positive and negative and color and spin and all these kind of things. They're not things. They're charges. A charge is not a thing. A charge is a property of a force. It's a property of energy. And photons are not a thing. They're light behaving as a particle. So there are no particles. There's just waves of energy that behave in a way that seems to throw off these quantum particles. That wave of energy is God. It is the creator. It created all things. The scientists say that the farthest galaxies are made of the same thing that this stuff's made of. Everything comes from the quantum field. One unified field of energy that behaves differently as it expresses itself. Where they won't get, and maybe they will never get, and that's fine, is that energy is consciousness. It's not that it is conscious. It's consciousness itself. Consciousness and energy are the same thing. Just like Einstein said that matter is energy and energy is matter, and the difference is just a temporary state. That's what E equals mc squared means. Energy is the same as matter. And if you break apart matter, you will find energy, because that's what was making the matter. If you take ice and you melt it in heat, it becomes water. Well, which is it, ice or water? Give me a break. And heat it up a little bit more, and it becomes vapor. Well, which is it? Is water vapor, ice, or water, liquid? It's all of those. It's just behaving different ways based upon the environment it's in. Well, it's the same thing with consciousness and energy. Consciousness is power, and the power of consciousness is energy. So I try to get you close to it. You are conscious. You are conscious. That means you are God. If water looks at ice and says, I wish I could be like that, okay, that's like you saying, I wish I could know God. You who's conscious, the essence of your being is the divine consciousness. It is literally consciousness looking at this form. That's what it is. You don't go to God. You stop leaving. That's the deepest thing I will ever teach you. All this thing about I want to find God. Well, go look under the bed. Maybe he's there. You who's looking is what you're looking for. So it is literally, there is just one consciousness. And that consciousness is looking at its creation. And that's what you are. God looking at God's creation. Well, that's fine. That's wonderful. Why did God bother creating it? You go ask him. Someone once asked Mayor Baba, a fully enlightened being, why did God create the universe? You're not going to like the answer, guys. But I'll bet it's the truth. On a whim. If you're dancing, you're a great dancer. You're just a great dancer. And somebody's watching you and you're just dancing. Not choreographed. You're dancing. And someone says, why did you move like that right then? On a whim. Just inspiration, just expression, pure expression. That's why the universe exists. It is that divine infinite consciousness expressing every aspect of its being and then looking at it. The same consciousness and the same energy are the same thing. In yoga, ancient scriptures of yoga, way back, thousand years ago in the Upanishads, they called it Chit Shakti. Chit is in Sanskrit is consciousness, and Shakti in Sanskrit is energy. It's all one word, Chit Shakti. And that was the name of God. That's what they call God, Chit Shakti. Eternal consciousness, which is energy. How can consciousness be energy? You know the answer. Since you are consciousness, if you explore the nature of your being, you will find God. You will find the nature of God. Because God is consciousness, and you are conscious. Isn't that amazing? That's how close you are. Are you conscious? Do you know you have thoughts? Can you see through your eyes? Are you conscious? That's the most magical thing in the universe is consciousness. If you take everything else away, consciousness knows it's gone. If the room's empty, you know it's empty. If it's full, you know it's full. It's the same you, it knows both. Consciousness is the miracle. Nothing's more miraculous than consciousness. Oh, but I saw a vision. Who did? The consciousness. You who saw that vision are higher than the vision. There's nothing higher than consciousness. Why? If the vision wasn't there, you're still conscious. If you're not conscious, there's no vision, there's no nothing. It's everything. How do you know the consciousness and energy of the same source, of the same fiber? Because when you want to focus on something, do you focus on thoughts? Do you focus on math in your head? Right? When you focus, you create this thing called will. How come you have the right to create a thought? How do you have the right to focus on a thought? Can't you? Can you hold in your head 15 times 3 and do it? But you have to concentrate, don't you? There. Concentration is consciousness focused. See, you do it all the time, but it's like, I told you, it's like the fish doesn't know they're in water. Why? They never left. You're not paying attention to what's going on in there. You focus your consciousness, your awareness, all the time on different things. If you're focused on your thoughts, you can feel it wear you out. You can feel it being stressful, all right? You can feel energy being used to focus. Focused consciousness is what you call will. That's what willpower is. The fact that the consciousness of God is able to willfully focus on a picture, a person, a thing, a thought, an emotion. It's just consciousness, awareness of being, focusing. When you hold a magnifying glass in front of the sun, it focuses the sunbeams. They're there all the time, but that'll burn you. If you get on the other end of that, it's focused energy. That's what you're doing when you focus inside. Can you feel it? You do concentrate, don't you? How do you concentrate? What are you doing when you concentrate? You're focusing. You're focusing. It's not scattered all over the place. It's focused. How do you have the ability to do that? What is it that causes focusing? And the answer is willpower. You just have this power to concentrate, don't you? That's willpower. They talk about willpower, but nobody explains what it is. The military have a lot of willpower, right? Exercise your will. But nobody explains to you what is will. That's what will is. Focused consciousness. So consciousness focuses, and it focuses on whatever it wills to focus on. This union of conscious and energy is what's going on. Energy creates all things. Science has shown that. You're very lucky to live in an age that they have found out it's all energy. That's what the ancient masters taught. That's ancient yoga, thousand years ago. It's all energy. It's just light. Light has created everything. It all comes from light. Guess what they found out? It all comes from light. Okay? So basically, you have that, and then you have consciousness. That's all there is in the universe. Consciousness and energy, which is consciousness slowed down. If you slow steam down, it becomes water. Slow it down more, it becomes ice. You slow consciousness down, it takes form. It takes a sense of form. That's why the great teachings teach you all this is God. All this is God. There's nothing there but God. But we focus on ourselves. That's what we focus on all the time. You focus on yourself. What do I want? You focus on your thoughts. You focus on your emotions. You don't focus on somebody else's thoughts. Unless you care about them, then you have to ask them, what were you thinking? They'll probably lie to you. But you understand that? It's like you focus on your thoughts. How hard is it for you to focus on your thoughts? You know how hard it is? You can't not. I'm teaching you deep things here. This is deep yoga, all right? Deep spirituality. Consciousness should be able to focus on anything. It's able to focus on anything, all right? Think about galaxies right now. How much do you see galaxies passing through your head? See them? It can do anything. You can do anything in there, but you don't. You focus on your thoughts, your emotions, your body with all of its feelings and so on, and what's in front of your senses. How much of your focus consciousness is involved in those things? 99.999. It's there. So you're focusing on yourself. You can't serve two masters. Like Christ's teachings are the deepest that could ever be. They're the deepest of all the teachings. They are the deep teachings. What does it mean you can't serve two masters? That means you can't serve yourself and serve what is other than yourself, by definition. Why? Because you're busy serving yourself. What do you think Christ meant when he said you must die to be reborn? It means you have to die of serving yourself in order to be able to experience other than yourself. How much more is there of the universe than yourself? How much more is there of the whole universe? Forget Gainesville. The whole universe, how much is there other than your thoughts, your emotions, your body, and what's in front of you? There's not a number big enough. There's not a number big enough to say how much there is other than that stupid little thing you're paying attention to. Do you have to pay attention to yourself? No. Of course you don't. It's just something you're paying attention to. I proved to you you don't have to. You can think of Saturn. You can think of Mars. You can think of galaxies. Your consciousness is free. And that's still using your mind to focus. But at least the mind is not focused on you. A great master will tell you you don't need your mind to experience. Consciousness is conscious. It experiences. But if you focus it on your mind, it only experiences what your mind can experience. And if you focus your mind on you, then it can only experience you. Your mind is capable of experiencing all kinds of things, but you don't. You do some. You do study and science, and you do some, all right? But even when that's happening in the back of your mind, you're thinking about you. I'd rather be sailing. I don't feel like working here. Oh my God, my boss. You know, you're still thinking about you in the back of there, aren't you? Come on. But you do have the ability to let your consciousness expand enough to where the mind doesn't have to think about just you. It can think about science. It can think about this, all kinds of things. Correct? Right. But it doesn't. Understand that. So I just taught you. Consciousness does not have to focus on you. There's no reason it would have to. That's ridiculous. That's like if a light is shining on you, it doesn't have to. The light can shine on anything. Your consciousness can be aware of anything. It's transcendent to what it's looking at, and it doesn't have to look at you. And that's where the great masters went. People use the word enlightenment, and they shouldn't. Very few people have reached a state of enlightenment. An enlightened being, a true enlightened being, their consciousness does not have to focus on themselves. If they wanted to, it can. Just like you can think about math if you want to. But you can't not think about you, okay? You can try all you want, and you're going to find out you're thinking about you. And if you're not for 2 minutes, you meditated enough, for 2 minutes, you're not thinking about you. You controlled your mind. When you get up, you're thinking about you. So consciousness is addicted to your thoughts, your emotions, your body, and what's coming in through your senses from the outside world. But it doesn't have to be. That's the deepest thing I could ever teach you. There's no limit to what consciousness is capable of being conscious of. It's all expansive, and that's what enlightened means. Enlightened means that your consciousness is no longer addicted to focus on this tiny, tiny, minuscule part of the universe called me. All right? It's liberated. That's what's called liberation. Jivan Mukta, a free soul. It doesn't have to focus here. What does it focus on then? Go study the great masters. Go read Autobiography of a Yogi. There's a chapter called My Experience in Cosmic Consciousness. When he let go, he became the whole universe. He felt the galaxies were his body. He was expanding out at the speed of light in all directions. Meher Baba said when he reached total liberation, the drop of consciousness that had been focusing on him fell into the ocean of consciousness. Find it. Find a drop of water when you drop it into the ocean. You will never find it. It did what we call merge, and that's what the word yoga means. Union, merger. Yoga is not asanas. Yoga is this phenomenal science of how to know God or how to merge into the higher states. So an enlightened being lives in that state. They are merged. Have you ever heard of such an enlightened being? How about the one who said, my Father and I are one? Somebody said that. I remember hearing it. Okay? What did he mean? He meant my Father and I are one. He meant that's who he was. The universe descended. I'm a nice Jewish yogi, but if somebody asks me, do you believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God? I shock them. I say, no. I think he's God descended himself. Why would he be the Son of God? And a fully enlightened being is merged in that state. And then that's what's there. Oh my God, I would like to meet that guy. Okay? So somebody who meditates can relate a little bit to these higher states. And then you really respect. Now you know Christ. Now you understand what's going on. And you have a tremendous level of respect. Okay? And you understand that whole thing. My Father and I are one and so on. So believe it or not, that's who you are. You are that consciousness looking down at this. Does it have to? No. Is it easy to get it not to? No. Okay? No, it's not. But that doesn't mean it's not the truth. So you understand, Meher Baba said, that's the enlightened one we talk about when the drop fell into the ocean, he said, man minus mind equals God. Guess what? Man minus mind equals God. If you are not focused on your mind, your consciousness is free to focus on everything else. And you think, oh, I can focus on her mind? Fine, be a mind reader. Can some people read other people's minds? This is so silly. Of course some people can. Can I look at that picture and then look at the one next to it? Of course I can, but not if I'm addicted to the picture. If I'm addicted to that picture, I don't even know there's another one there. So if I'm totally addicted to my thoughts, I can't see yours. Not because I'm not capable of seeing yours. I couldn't care less. And the only reason I care about your thoughts, I want to know what you're thinking about me. Do you understand that? Or I want to figure out how I can take advantage of that so I can get what I want. So that's how caught we are in our thoughts, in our ego, in our own little domain of me. But that's not who you are. You are the divine consciousness looking down into its creation and becoming lost. That's called the lost soul. That's a fall from the garden. Supposedly, we can think of it that way, Adam and Eve are in that state and they're enjoying creation. Like if you were an artist and you created something really big and beautiful, how much fun would you have stepping back and experiencing your creation? Well, that's God. That's the divine being having expressed the nature of itself all over the universe. Black holes eating galaxies, blowing up galaxies, and tiny little flowers. Wow, you want to have devotion for God? Start thinking properly. It expressed itself, and it loves looking at its expression. That's why they say God is love. It's all beauty. But does God create storms? Yeah. How do you know? Let those who have eyes to see, let them see. All right? There it is. So now the divine consciousness is in ecstasy. We call it Satchidananda, another name for God, eternal conscious ecstasy, looking down at the creation it created, seeing all the aspects of its being. That's what it means to be in the garden. Everything's God, everything's beautiful. But what happened? They used an analogy that they ate an apple of the tree of knowledge, tree of self-knowledge. You bothered thinking of yourself as separate. I am me, not I am God looking at this. I am this. And that's the fall. That's literally a fall from the higher consciousness down into this tiny little picayune, stupid little thing called me. I, me, mine. And it's like, that's what's happened. You fell. You fell from the divine consciousness where you're still seeing creation, but you're not in it. You're just experiencing the beauty of the expression of yourself. And it's ecstasy. You're in ecstasy. But then you identified, you got a little too close to these thoughts and emotions, and you identified with them, and you said, that's me, and that's who you are running around here. I'm only human. You are not only human. You're not even close. You're divine conscious looking at a human. Fine. I look at a vase too. I look at a car. I look at all kinds of things. I don't think I'm them. I am the vase. I'm not that, right? But you look at your body and you look at your mind and you look at your emotions and you say, that's what I am. That's the biggest lie that could ever exist. That you're sitting there diminishing yourself to say, I'm what I look at. You're not what you look at. You're the one who's looking. So that's the importance of consciousness. Consciousness is God. Consciousness is everything. Consciousness is the highest thing in the universe. So why can't I stay there? Well, you know why. So I'm trying to tell you, you're already there. You're in there. How do I know you're there? We're talking about witness consciousness. Every single one of you has some degree of witness consciousness, even though you never heard the word. How do you know? Because you know you have thoughts. If I ask you, do you have thoughts? If I ask the most unconscious person in the world, do you have thoughts? Yeah, and you better do what I say. They still know they have thoughts. They're aware of their thoughts. Who's aware of the thoughts? The thought is not aware of itself. Consciousness is aware of the thought. Do you have emotions? How do you know? You'd yell at me because I feel them. Who does? The whole of spirituality is about consciousness. That's what it is, the beginning and end of the whole thing. So I said to you, the highest spiritual path is what you are doing inside yourself every moment of every day. It's not just church or temple or synagogue or this or that. It's every minute of every day. How conscious are you? Well, I'm conscious. Obviously, I'm conscious of my thoughts. I'm conscious. That's not what it means. How conscious are you of being conscious? What does it mean? You're obviously aware of your thoughts. Whatever they say, you do. I don't like it here, you leave. I'm not sure if I still love her. You question your relationship. Anything your mind says, you said it. No, you didn't. Your mind said it, and you're aware of it. Are you capable of maintaining that level of consciousness that you see your mind's thoughts as your mind's thoughts instead of me? I'm the one who notices that the mind is not happy here. I'm the one who notices that the mind is complaining about what happened. I'm the one who notices that I have an ego problem, that things have to be the way they want, they complain if they don't, right? I'm the one in here that notices there's a mind down there, there's a heart down there, there's a body down there, right? And there's a world out there. And I notice it when always. Now, what does that mean? How could you do it always? What about with your eyesight? Do you notice right now what's in front of you? How hard is it? That's a joke. You understand that? It's effortless, is it not? That's what it becomes when you become, quote, a conscious being. What they mean by a conscious being is someone who's conscious that they're conscious instead of what they're conscious of. I'm lost in my mind. What does that mean? My consciousness is addicted to listening to my mind. It doesn't know how to do anything else. It doesn't even know there is anything else. And it's addicted to listening to its heart. I think that's the most important thing in the whole world, my heart feels. You understand that? You hurt me. You hurt me. How could you have done that? Now your mind's saying that. Your heart's feeling that. Mazel tov. You're lost in your mind. You're lost in your heart. When you're conscious, the same as I asked you, how hard is it for you to see what's in front of you? That's how hard it is for you to see your thoughts. You're just there, and they're there. Well, yours are there and they're there, but they pull you in. You're not capable of maintaining the detachment that I am seeing my thoughts. You're not seeing your thoughts, you're being your thoughts. See the difference? Okay, that's what's meant by witness consciousness. You are seeing your thoughts. How hard is it? Equally as hard as it for you to see what's in front of you. It is effortless. But it's not effortless if you're attached to the thought. Most of your thoughts are effortless. You drive by trees, you drive by cars, you drive by all kinds of things. Really, 99% all day, you just drive right by, walk by, nothing happens. You're fine. Your thought can think, oh, there's a car, there's this, there's that, right? Nothing. But then all of a sudden your girlfriend walks by with somebody else. All of a sudden, that thought and that feeling, you cannot stay detached from it. You cannot stay centered in the seat of consciousness. You cannot? No, you don't. You can, but you don't. Why? Because it pulls you into it. I want you to feel that your consciousness gets pulled down. Now you're not seeing objectively. All these are spiritual words. You're not seeing objectively what's going on. That one thing, the girlfriend or boyfriend with somebody else, is not objective, is it? It's the most subjective thing that could possibly exist. It's personal. It's not impersonal. And because of that, your consciousness gets pulled down into it. And that's why you don't know God. Can we? Yes. Do we? No. Why? Because something is so strong in the human mind, in the human heart, in the humanness, if you will, the personal aspect, that it pulls our consciousness into it, and the next thing you know, you're lost. And you're saying things, or doing things. That's what I want to talk about. Anybody know anything about that? You're saying things, doing things, acting different ways, and so on and so forth, because you got lost. You're acting in accordance to your thoughts. That's called getting lost. But what if they're nice thoughts? There's no such thing. Either you are your thoughts or you're not your thoughts. If you're not your thoughts, they just are what they are. They're not good or bad or right or wrong or nice or not nice. They're just things in the universe, just like trees and clouds and everything else. They're objects of consciousness. But they're strong. Just like drugs are strong. You get addicted to them, right? You are addicted to yourself. Why? Why am I addicted to myself? Why did I fall from the garden? You got to ask that of yourself. I'm asking you to ask that of yourself, all right? You're down here begging for someone to be nice to you, as opposed to, so you can feel a little love or feel a little relaxation, a little trust, when you are the whole universe. You're filled with ecstasy and joy every second of your life. You're not here begging for a little parcel. It's funny, all right? Why? Because when the universe comes in, it's everything. Doesn't mean it's always nice. I would use the same example because it's very clear. Rattlesnakes in front of you do not feel the same as butterflies in front of you. Why? Because they're not the same. Isn't that beautiful? Everything has its nature. And a rattlesnake's nature is scary, and it gives off scary. A butterfly doesn't. That's called reality. Remember, I said all of it is God expressing itself? There it is. There it is. What? An aspect of God. A rattlesnake's an aspect of God. A butterfly's an aspect of God. A beautiful plant's an aspect of God. So there it is. But they all have their different nature. They all have a different vibration, which is right. It's proper. If you express yourself and you only use one color when you're painting, it doesn't look as good, does it? So you express everything. So it's all expressed, and it has different vibrations and different natures. When they come in, they feel different. Their experience different. So what? So what? What's wrong with having different experiences? So you see a rattlesnake, it's scary. You see a butterfly, it's beautiful. So fine. You'll see something in a moment that's different. Then another thing will come. But that's not what happened. And this is the fall from the garden. You weren't able to let it come all the way in. I teach this all the time. If a rattlesnake was there, you feel protectiveness, you step back, you do what you're supposed to do because it's wanting you to. It's giving off bad vibes. So it comes in and it passes through. You don't spend the rest of your life afraid of a rattlesnake or afraid of a rope or afraid of a rattle, a baby's rattle. You didn't store it inside of you. You had the experience. It passed through. It doesn't mean you can't bring it back. You're welcome to bring it back. Like a computer memory. Bring it back anytime you want, but it doesn't come back by itself. But that one does, doesn't it? It haunts you for the rest of your life, right? Why? Because you didn't let it go. You, what do I mean you? You in there that has will, use your will to stop that thing from coming all the way through. You didn't want to experience it fully. It wasn't comfortable, so you pushed it away. Do you ever do that? Do you ever see yourself pushing feelings away and thoughts away? Okay? All right. When you push it away, it can't pass. Why? You said so. You're a very powerful being. Your will is very, very strong. And so you used it to stop the experience that was meant to be experienced. How do I know it's meant to be experienced? That's Christ. Let those who have eyes to see, let them see. Let those ears to hear. How do you know it was the experience I was supposed to have? Because it's the one you had. All right? And the Gita says so beautiful. All the teachings are the same. Right? In the Gita, Krishna says, Arjuna, he says, that which is will be. That which is not will not be. What's so difficult? Same teaching. So are you capable of saying, I am experiencing the divine dance. I'm experiencing God. I'm experiencing all kinds of experiences. And the answer is no, you're not. So what do? You protect yourself. That's what the act of pushing it away is. I'm not comfortable with it. I can't handle it, so I'm going to push it away. When you push it away, you store it inside. I've taught you this over and over. It doesn't go anywhere. You store it inside of you. Freud taught you that. All psychology teaches you that. Is it true that what happened when you're 3 years old could still be bothering you when you're 53? Yes or no? What's that telling you? It stays inside. So you've just stored inside of you everything that ever bothered you. So now you have all these, what do you call them, soft spots. Yoga calls them samskaras. Patterns that you stored inside of you that you are sensitive about. If anything reminds you of them, they come back up, don't they? That is why you're addicted to your personal self. Because you didn't want to experience it when it happened, and you sure as heck don't want it coming back up. Therefore, your consciousness is fixated on it, is studying it, is drawn into it. That rattlesnake will come back 1,000 times in your life, even though you'll never see another one. And when it comes back, if you're meditating, and you're in a deep state of meditation, and you hear, shh, you're out. That's the end of that meditation. Okay? But if you never heard rattlesnake before, it doesn't bother you at all. But you stored fear. You stored anxiety. You stored tension. You stored this, all right? So now when it happens, it stimulates and your consciousness gets drawn right back into it. How many of those have you stored? How many have you stored in there? There have to be rattlesnakes. It could be the way somebody talked to you. It could be the divorce. It could be that your kid didn't listen to you. It could be this. It could be that. It could be the car accident. It could be you fell out of a tree. It could be so many things. Are you kidding me? You want to find out how many there are? Go back and think about high school. You get a lot of them in high school. Little clicks and rejections and acceptances and likes and dislikes, right or wrong. How much have you got in there? That's why you can't know God. Not that you're not capable of knowing God. You are God descended. That's how close you are. Somebody once asked Yogananda, I want to know God. I want to know God. He nonchalantly turned around and said, He dwells right behind your every thought. What dwells right behind your every thought? The consciousness that is aware of the thought. That's how close you are to God. They asked Christ, where is the kingdom? What did he say? Within you. The kingdom is within you. Wow. Didn't I say, are you in there? Do you aware of your thoughts? That's the you that it's within. It's within the consciousness. It's within the essence of your being. But why can't I go back there? Because you are completely distracted by the garbage that you stored inside yourself. Not only if it stimulates it are you bothered, you're afraid that something will stimulate it. You're bothered even when it's not stimulated, aren't you? What if he doesn't like me? He said he'd like me. What if he doesn't? Oh, have fun. That's a nice way to think. Nice thoughts. So what that does is trap you into focusing on this garbage that you stored inside yourself. And then you try to put it together and package it up into your personality. I know how to be. If I'm nice to people, they'll be nice to me. And if I wear what everybody else is wearing, I'll be accepted and I can be part of the clique. Like, what is that? What is that? That's a mind that's scared, and consciousness is lost in that completely, isn't it? You're going to do what it says. Otherwise, you'll hurt. Otherwise, you'll get all kinds of stuff. So, and we'll talk about how to, but when you achieve a state of true inner consciousness, it means that what is going on inside of you, your thoughts and your emotions, all your thoughts and all your emotions, are just things you're seeing just as easy as you look outside and you see what's there. Notice it's effortless, isn't it? It's effortless to see what's there. Well, why is it different inside? Why don't you just see what's there? I told you why. Because you're drawn into it. Because you stored all this stuff in there and you're scared to death. You're scared you won't get what you need. You're scared you're going to get what you don't want. You're scared somebody's going to say something. You're scared you'll do something wrong. You're scared you'll be rejected. You're scared that somebody's not the way they said they were and they're going to hurt you. And okay, that's what it means to be human. You got yourself a human in there, don't you? Full of fear and anxiety and tension and desires and needs and all that kind of junk. Okay? And if it doesn't get what it wants, it freaks. And if it gets what it wants, it goes "Ooh," for a minute. And so you're busy running after that thing. What it means to grow spiritually is to work on liberating yourself from yourself, dying to be reborn. It means you practice not being what you've been busy being. All right? How easy is that? Now, that's not that easy. Okay? Just like I said, if you started doing heroin, you did it for years and years, and you see how stupid it is, it's ruining your life, and you just say, okay, I'm going to stop. Yeah? Let's see. Hear me? It's called an addiction. There's so much power and pain of trying to not do what you're addicted to that's very difficult. So with alcoholics and so on, you are addicted to protecting yourself from yourself, aren't you? You're addicted to trying to think what needs to happen outside so that I'm better inside. Well, there you are. Now you're out there being your mind. You're being this human that needs stuff. Okay? What do I not need? How do I avoid it? And that's your whole life. If you're not careful, it's your whole life. So what do I do about that? What I have found is that every day of your life, every minute of every day of your life is an opportunity to liberate yourself. What do you mean? Your stuff's going to get hit. The ego is going to say, I need something. It's going to say, I don't like this. It's going to defend itself. Every minute it's going to do that. Is there some point that's not that bad, but still you would have defended yourself and you would have complained and you would have this and you would have that you cannot do it? Right? It's like if I take you to the gym and you can lift 50 pounds, can you tomorrow lift 50 pounds and 1/10 of an ounce? Sure. That's what I want. I want you to find the place that you can do it. I know you can't do it. I'm very compassionate. I know you can't just let it all go, can you? All right? I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what I wear. No, you can't. Don't do that. Because all it's going to do is cause anxiety and more destruction inside. But there is something that you can do. I swear to you, I promise you, there's something that during that day you would have been weird, but you let it go. The driver in front of you didn't use his blinker. Nice blinker, buddy. You didn't have to say that, did you? Did you have to say that? What would happen if you didn't say that? Nothing. All you would have done is not disturb yourself over something that didn't need to be disturbing. You know how many of those there are? Wait till you see. Like I said, there's a line in the new book, Living Untethered. The moment in front of you is not bothering you. You're bothering yourself about the moment in front of you. And repeat that slowly. The moment in front of you is not bothering you. You're bothering yourself about the moment in front of you. The fact that guy didn't use a blinker did not bother you. You bothered yourself that person didn't use the blinker. How about we just stop those? Just start with the rubber hits the road. Just start with things that don't have to bother you. I understand if your girlfriend leaves you or your mother dies. I understand. I have compassion. You're not ready yet. Do the best you can. All right? But these you can do, can't you? It's called practicing. Practicing being conscious. You catch yourself. You're talking to somebody that you have a rough relationship with all the time. You have to say something. You have to barb. You have to do something to protect yourself and do all this. You don't have to do that. Can you catch yourself? There's just habits, like relationships become habits, don't they? You interact with each other and that kind of thing. How about you be conscious enough to notice you're about to say something that's a little bit nasty or a little bit defensive or a little bit take control, push away. You understand that? And you didn't have to do it. It's not like it was so strong, I have to protect myself. You were conscious for a moment. Can you see the energy start to come up from those samskaras, from those blockages, from those patterns, and cause a thought that you would have just expressed? That's spiritual growth. That's where spiritual growth is happening, where you see it start to happen and you catch it. There's that moment that you have. Meditation helps you get those moments, by the way. Helps you remain a little more conscious for a little longer. The question is, what do you do with it? Do you still go ahead and say it anyways? Or can you catch yourself? That's what I noticed. Can you catch yourself from saying what you would have said or acting the way you would have acted, and instead say, I'd rather go to God? Because that's what you're trading off. I'd rather let go. I'd rather let go. And you let go of what you would have said. That's how you know you're growing. But what if he'll take advantage of me? Yeah, right. But if I don't say, nice blinker, buddy, he will use the blinker next time. He didn't hear you saying nice blinker. It did not affect anything in the world except for you. Can you catch yourself? That's where the work is. And if you catch yourself, can you let go? Now you understand. People say, what do you mean by let go? You understand? You're in there, you're about to get sucked in, you relax. You relax and you release that tendency. It's like stopping a drug or stopping alcohol or stopping anything. You need to exercise a little will, don't you? To let it go. Start letting go of these simple little low-hanging fruit things. It will change your entire life. You think these things are little. They're not little. While you're training yourself how to let go. And the next thing you know, something a little bigger will happen, and you'll have trained yourself to still be there. You're always conscious, but we say be conscious. You're conscious of being conscious, all right? You're sitting in a higher state, and you notice this tendency to say what you would have said, okay? And you don't do it. Dare you, I dare you. That's your path to God. Why? Because being sucked into it is why you're not experiencing yourself as a divine consciousness. You're experiencing yourself as that garbage. Now, like I said, you can't do it all at once, and don't ask you to do it at once. I told you, if you want to play the piano, don't start with Beethoven. Start with your scales. If you want to play tennis, don't do it against the Williams sisters. Start with a tennis ball feeder or a coach. Isn't that how you do it? You start from the beginning and you work your way up. This is the same. You practice true spirituality, which is liberating your consciousness from its addiction to your ego. It's addiction to you. That's what addiction to you. You're addicted to you, aren't you? Practice letting go. So basically, I want you to be conscious enough to look at him or her and realize that's a mess. And I made that mess because I couldn't handle the situation that happened to me in life. So I pushed them down into my psyche, and I got a broken psyche. How about you? Right? Scared, sensitive, afraid, needy. I got one of those things. Well, of course you do. You stored every single thing that ever bothered you inside of you. Now all you want to do is make sure it doesn't bother you again and get things that make you feel better. Okay? So you look at it with compassion, but you work with it. It's like a child. You take it by the hand, so come on, you cross the street, it's okay. No, okay, if you're not comfortable, we'll go a little bit later, but let's take it one step at a time. That's how I want you to work with her or him. But do the work. And you wait till you find out. Ultimately what happens is, if you will maintain your seat of consciousness, transcendent to your personal self, the mind and the heart and all that stuff, right? Over time you can raise it. Of course you can raise it. You ruined it. You can raise it. And you just start working with yourself, and you're going to find out you go through many stages. One is difficult to do because it's very strong. It wants to be protected. It wants to prove itself. There's some people that have to prove themselves all the time. No, seriously. They're so insecure that they're busy proving themselves with everything they say, everything they wear, everything they do. I have to prove that I'm good enough, prove that I'm better, prove that I'm the best. The person who's the best does not prove they're the best. They just are the best. And if you stop trying to prove yourself, you're going to find out you are the best at whatever you can be. But if you're busy trying to prove yourself that you're better than everybody else, it's ugly, isn't it? So you stop doing that. And what will happen little by little as you work with her or him, it's going to become more comfortable in there. Why? Because you're not fighting. You're not struggling. You're raising. You raise the energy. And then at some point, we're going to reach the end. It's a beautiful point. You're going to find out that when something scares her, she doesn't reach out to be okay. She doesn't hide to be okay. She reaches up to you. It's a beautiful point. She literally realizes there's something in here that's safe. You, the seat of consciousness. It doesn't change. It's always there. It's always been there. Her whole life, it's been there, watching her. And it just, this lower self reaches up for the higher self. And when that happens, all the energy in your being changes direction. Literally. Now you don't realize it, but you will. All of your energy is going down. It's all going down into the mind, down into the heart, down into the world. It reaches out. It's going to start to reach up. And then you start to feel waves of ecstasy. The rush of holy water, as they call it. You just literally start feeling all this joy rushing up inside of you. Because you removed enough of your blockages to where your natural energy flow doesn't have to be used to go down. It goes up. And then it goes up even higher. And eventually there's so much joy, total spontaneous well-being rushing up inside of you that you don't have to do anything. It's going up. What you'll find out is you get scared because it's so strong going up. People tell me that. Oh, it started to go up, I got scared. Yeah, that's right. Of course, you're not used to that. Because what it's asking you to do is let go of yourself. It sounds so romantic, I want to go to God. But then you can't be here. Right? You must die to be reborn. Now we're talking about true spirituality. You have to be willing to let go of yourself. And little by little, the ecstasy is so strong and the call is so powerful and beautiful that same as you let go of the lower self little by little, you let go of your individual seat of consciousness and you get pulled up. And the great ones let go. The great ones all talk about that state where they let go and merged with the consciousness itself. I thought we'd talk a little bit about true spirituality. That's true spirituality. So I hope this helps you. Jai Gurudev.